Hey Pat, how would you assess the competition to make the club? For you.
Um, I mean, it's been good. We have a lot of good players on this squad, and I think competition is good. It pushes you to be better every single day. So I welcome competition because it motivates me.
Next up, Dan Connolly. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Pat. Unfortunately, you were the first guy to talk to us since Anthony Santander came out and talked about his situation. So I kind of want to ask you, I mean, when you've been around a bunch of different camps, you know what the situation is going to be like for this season. When you have a teammate who gets that, how do you reconcile that? How do you deal with that? And how do you think the club and Santander have dealt with it so far?
Well, I felt bad for him. First off, first priority was making sure that they were healthy and able to recover from it. So thankful for that. So I think we're always thinking of those guys, but in the sense of the team, I think we just kind of next man up because there's really no other option. If one of us goes down like that, it's kind of the same thing. It's just like an injury during the normal year that you have to be ready to step in and fill that role. I know he's a big part of this team. Happy to have him back. But I think in the meantime, guys were getting some more opportunities, and that's all you can ask for.
Just to follow up on that, Pat, does that bring it more real to you guys when you have somebody? I mean, we all read about it and everything else, but to know somebody who's going through it, does that make it kind of more real for the players?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it hits closer to home. I saw him the very first day of testing. I said hi to him, and next thing you know, he is gone for 2 weeks. So definitely hits home, and makes you think that you got to take all the precautions you can.
Next up, we have Nathan Ruiz. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, Pat. Brandon mentioned about a week ago now that you spent most of the past few months just kind of hitting in your garage. How prepared do you feel for the season, and how did you spend the shutdown to make sure you stayed ready?
Yeah, I was in California, so pretty strict quarantine was in effect. So, I had just a little garage set up that I was able to hit off the tee. I spent most of my time doing that. Towards the end, I was able to hit a little bit more. But I think this little 3-week ramp up, it's been quick, but there's been a lot of stuff going on that has, I feel prepared. They're doing a good job of putting us in situations that we're going to see and prepare us for the season. So I feel good and I feel ready.
Next up, we have Steve Molesky. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Pat, how has your offense evolved over the years? I mean, what do you think? Where do you think it is right now, and how have you grown and gotten better there?
Yeah, definitely evolved. I just think the more time you spend in the big leagues and the more situations you're put in, you can learn from them. And that's what I've really been trying to do, is just learn from every situation. I think when I first came up, I was a very aggressive hitter, and it worked out for a while. But I kind of, the league adjusted to me, so I need to adjust back. And, I've been working on being a little more selective and making sure that I swing at the pitch that I want to swing at.
Next up, we have Nathan Ruiz again. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, Pat, how big of a part of your game is defensive versatility, and how big of a role do you think that'll play in your ability to make the Orioles?
Yeah, I think it's a big part. I take pride in being able to kind of get plugged in at multiple spots. My objective is just to try to find a way onto the field somehow, a way into the lineup. So, if that's in the infield, if it's in the outfield, DH, I'm just trying to make an impact in that lineup.
Next up, we have Jeff Arnold. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Pat, thanks so much for doing this. Hope you're staying safe with everything going on. you mentioned in spring training that you were doing some work with your brother, who works for the Cubs in the hitting coordinator capacity. How often did you guys get to work together while you were, back home and waiting to get details on how the season was going to start?
Well, during the quarantine, he lives in Arizona and I'm in California, so I didn't get to see him at all. But he's one of those guys that I can call at any time, bounce things off of. He's got a job to do, so his priority is, working with the Cubs, and, I respect that. But, at the same time, he's my brother, so I feel like I can bounce things off of him. And he's been a great help to me throughout my career. And I'm just very fortunate and thankful for him.